Hey everyone, welcome back to Daisy Crochet, or welcome if you're new. My name is Shae and today I'm going to show you how to make one of these cute crochet jellyfish. So for this project, we're going to be working in the round, so you're going to start out by making a magic ring. Or you can start this project out in a different way that I'm going to show you today that was actually suggested to me by someone in the comments, so thank you for this suggestion. So for this method, you're going to start out by making a slip knot, and then you're going to chain 2. And then that first chain that you made is going to act as your magic ring. So for round 1, we're going to place 6 single crochets into our first chain or magic ring. For round 2 of this project, you're going to place an increase in each stitch all the way around for a total of 12. And you can see here that I'm adding my stitch marker into the first stitch of this row. Okay, so now we're going to remove our stitch marker and begin round 3. For round 3, we're going to start with 1 single crochet. And then we'll add back our stitch marker. And now we're going to do an increase in the next stitch. So for round 3 of this project, you're going to do 1 single crochet followed by an increase all the way around for a total of 18 stitches. So before I start the next round, you'll see I'm just placing a couple knots where we made that chain 2 at the beginning. In my opinion, this is much more important to do if you do a magic ring so that it doesn't come loose, but I'm still doing it on this project. Alright, so we're going to begin round 4 with 1 single crochet and then add in our stitch marker. And now we're going to continue making 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around for a total of 18. Now we'll remove our stitch marker and get ready for round 5. For round 5, we're also going to be placing 1 single crochet in each stitch for a total of 18 all the way around. Now that we've completed those 2 rounds of putting 1 single crochet in each stitch, we are going to move on to round 6. Round 6 will start off with 1 single crochet. And then after that 1 single crochet, we're going to place 1 decrease. We're going to repeat that pattern all the way around, putting 1 single crochet followed by a decrease in each stitch for a total of 12. Alright, so now we'll move on to making the frill part of the jellyfish. I'm not actually sure what it's called, but hopefully you understand. So we're going to start by placing a slip stitch in the front loop only of the first stitch in this round, and then we're going to chain 2. And then into the bottom chain, we are going to place another slip stitch. And then we'll make another slip stitch into the front loop only of the next stitch. I'll show you this pattern a couple more times, but this is what we're going to do all the way around. After doing this pattern a few times, this is what your frill should be looking like. Alright, so once you've gone all the way around, I just add an extra slip stitch just to secure that, and then I'll pull the yarn out a little bit because we're going to work on the face. First, we're going to grab our safety eyes and the backs for them. And I'm going to be placing the eyes on the opposite side, so not where the row starts, but it doesn't really matter. I like to place my eyes in between rounds 4 and 5. And then I also place them 4 stitches apart from each other. Now we'll just secure on the backs. We will now start on the mouth of our jellyfish, so grab out your thinner, darker yarn and just cut off a strip of it. This doesn't have to be too long. Now we're going to thread the yarn onto our darning needle. So I'm going to start with the bottom of the smile, and I'm going to insert my needle inside of the work between rounds 5 and 6 to do this. So this smile is going to be like V-shaped, so we're going to insert the needle through one side of the V, and then we'll go back through the inside of our work and put it right through that middle that we made again. And then we'll make the other side of the smile. Now you want to turn your work inside out and tie a few knots to secure the smile. Make sure that the first knot is not too tight, or else your smile will kind of disappear into your work. And then we'll just cut off any excess. So now we'll begin closing up the bottom of our jellyfish. So we're going to start by inserting our hook into the back loops of round 6, and then we're going to place a decrease in each back loop all the way around. And as you can see, I haven't put my stitch marker back in because I actually like to do a few extra decreases most of the time just to prevent that bigger hole to sew up at the end. And then after every few decreases, I like to add stuffing just so that it's not so hard to stuff it at the end with that smaller hole. Alright, so once you finished all your decreases, you're going to tie off your work. And I like to leave a tail that's long enough to weave into my work. Now that I've cut off my yarn, I'm just going to attach my needle and sew up that last little hole. And then I like to make a few knots just to make sure it's all secure. Now I'm just weaving the excess yarn up into the head. And here's the first part of your jellyfish all complete. Now we're going to work on the tentacles of our jellyfish, so we're going to start by making a slip knot. And you want to make sure you're leaving a little bit of yarn to sew it on. And then we are going to chain 16. If you'd like to make your tentacles shorter or longer, you can just alter the number of chains that you make. Starting in the second chain from our hook, we're going to place an increased stitch in each chain all the way down. Once you made it a little ways down your row, you will see the curl start to form. Once you made it all the way down the chain, you'll want to tie off your work and leave a little string for sewing it on. So I like to have 6 tentacles total, so I'm gonna go make 5 more of these and I'll come back when I'm done. Alright, so now we have our 6 finished tentacles and we're gonna start sewing them onto the body. Alright, so taking my first tentacle, I'm going to thread that onto my needle, and then I'm gonna start at the front of my head on one side close to the eye. It's not super important where you start attaching, this is just what I do every time. So you're going to be sewing your tentacle into the decrease stitches that you made right up near the frill. You can sew using whatever method works best for you, but this is what works for me. I'm going to repeat that about 3 to 4 times across the top of the tentacle. And then once it's nice and secure, I'm going to tie a knot with that string and then I'll weave it through the head. So on this first tentacle, for some reason I actually didn't weave the yarn directly through the head after I was done making the knots, but I definitely recommend doing that just to save time. And then I'm going to thread the next string on, and this is the string that we used when we were making the slip knot, so it's typically shorter, and I will just thread it through the body and the tentacle once, and then make a few knots and pull it through the body. And here is the tentacle all attached. Alright, I'm now threading the second tentacle onto my needle, and I'm going to place this tentacle on the right side of the previous one. This doesn't really matter, it just causes the tentacles to not be in your way while you're sewing. Alright, so I'm starting with that longer strand of yarn just like last time, and we're going through the top of the tentacle and the row of decreases all the way across. Now you can see I moved on to the next string, and I'm just gonna thread that through once and tie a couple knots. Now I've moved on to placing the third tentacle, and you'll notice that I'm putting the tentacles pretty close together along the body just to make sure that I have space for all 6 of them. So just continue placing all your tentacles along the body, and I'll come back when I'm on the 6th and final tentacle. Alright, we're now sewing on the final tentacle, and you might notice that you have a little bit less room, obviously, on this final tentacle, but just place it in between that little gap between the first and the last one that you placed. Now that all our tentacles are placed and all of the ends have been weaved through, we're just going to trim the ends and then tuck them into the head. Alright, congratulations on finishing your cute crocheted jellyfish. Here's 2 that I've made recently. Let me know if you tried this pattern out and how it went for you. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching and for 600 subscribers. Bye!